Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
My name is Jordan. I'm an addict, always trying to make good choices.
Yes, and I'm Lewis, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm recovering for crystal meth and alcohol, and I'm always in search of balance. Yes, and each week we strive. I know, exactly. Each week, after we do crazy shit, we strive to foster a brave space where we can engage in topics centered around... Engage in conversations centered around topics of recovery.
He had a drink before today.
I know.
Good.
But our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues used to separate us.
Yes, but before we do that, please like, comment, share, subscribe.
Look at you landing a plane right at the end of the music.
That was good.
That was very good. And now the disclaimer, the thoughts and opinions expressed on at the CCC are ours alone. We do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, are just a couple of friends behind the mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only.
Absolutely.
Only fans, yeah.
Only. They don't sponsor us.
Yeah.
They're not doing too well. I think
OnlyFans?
No, I think that isn't there. They're like being sued.
Possibly.
I remembered. They were being sued because there were. So I want everyone to know who's listening. If you hear crinkling in the background, it's because Lewis brought some
Why is that?
sour candies because it's in the background, and I want people to know how
It's not
inconsiderate
just
you are.
cracking.
Oh, are you gonna give me the last one?
Yeah.
You know what they say about giving someone the last bit of food that you
What is
have?
that, huh?
That they love you.
I'm trying to fuck you, huh? Fuck yeah, man. Wow.
Well, I'm going to go. Thanks, everybody.
It's going to get greasy.
So OnlyFans, not what we talk about here. But I think, okay, this is what I think. I don't know if it's true or not. So on OnlyFans, I think people who have like really large audiences, do you know this? They hire people to chat with the people that are interacting.
Ghostwriters.
Yeah.
Ghostwriters. Ghost ride the whip. So apparently, they're being sued because of that. Because people have thought that they were interacting with the actors.
They're not getting what they're
But they weren't, but they're not getting what they're paid for.
Whatever, man. It's like, I mean, that's kind of what most celebrities do. Like anytime.
Right. Like, go get yourself a hooker then.
Yeah, exactly. I think the nice thing about it.
Okay, let's not.
I think the nice thing about it is like if you're wanting the fantasy, and what if this person can't keep up with it and can't get back to you? So it's like you're getting a response. It's like you're just upset because it's not.
Well, it's not. You're not getting what you paid for.
Exactly, and
I didn't know this was going to be such a controversial topic.
absolutely no, it's all good.
What were you going to say, Jordan?
No,
Yeah. How's your OnlyFans page doing?
it's great.
Well.
I have a couple ghostwriters, so.
Okay, so today we're going to continue our series on different ways to get sober.
Yeah,
I feel like I keep changing the title of the series, but
it doesn't matter because when you click it
That's
up,
right.
it's the same. I always just
it doesn't matter.
So just say whatever you want.
Yeah. So we're going to continue our series on different paths to recovery, and today we're picking up on our conversation on moderation management. Moderation management. So if you're listening for the first time, moderation management is a peer-led group. It's focused on alcohol alone, right? Yeah. Doesn't follow steps. It's based on an accountability system. Some of the major principles of moderation management. Number one is that abstinence might be something that a person needs to do with their alcohol use, but that's not where they start. They don't start from the premise that you need to abstain from alcohol. First thing. Second thing is that it's not for people who are going through like DTs or withdrawal or have like really strong alcohol dependence. It's for like moderate to low.
DT stands for
Delirium
Delirium
tremens.
Shakes.
The shakies.
Shake.
Yeah, the shakies.
Shakey's Pizza. Did you ever eat at Shakey's Pizza?
No.
That's the peninsula.
That's the peninsula? I haven't. Yeah. So moderation management, abstinence, but the underlying principle is that a person can moderate their alcohol use, and that some people can drink responsibly.
It's like, it sounds like what we all try to do. Like, in the reading and 12-step.
Yeah.
It's like everyone wants to be a normal drinker, but,
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that when I got sober, 12-step wasn't initially the plan. The plan was I was going to take it easy and I'd be able to go back to drinking and, enjoying myself. And I forgot that I never really drank to kind of, it wasn't I didn't enjoy the taste of alcohol. I just drank. I wanted to get drunk. I was a party girl. Woohoo!
I am, I'm a party girl.
If you hear any squishing,
I'm eating a French fry. Well, I want everyone to know. Everyone at this table had dinner.
Yeah.
Not me. I didn't.
Choices.
So, moderation management.
Ooh,
So,
speaking of dinner,
Last
night I made this pasta with spicy Italian sausage, spinach, portobello mushrooms, onions.
red or white sauce?
It's a red sauce.
Okay.
And it was 4 cheese sauce and it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it was so good. I got more at home.
I didn't know you cooked.
I cooked.
I didn't know you
I
cooked
cooked
either.
just enough.
Oh, so not enough for us.
I cook. What I do is I
Selfish.
yeah,
Right.
no, I'm not one of those, like, I would never have a dinner party where I had to cook. I would order the food. Yeah.
So, moderation management. So, and I realized, so before today, I was like doing some research based on some of the other conversations that we were having over like successful, don't look at my French fries, around successful recovery programs. Found a lot of really interesting stuff, primarily, which is like what we were talking about the last time, is like, how are we defining success? And one of the things that I really liked, I came across this one paper that said, if we're defining success as people being able to live their lives or staying alive and living their lives, right, then we would actually see like success rate being much higher, right? But there are different things, like, is someone stably housed, right?
exactly.
Is someone able to take their medications? Is someone like, are they reducing, right? So there's so many different ways of measuring success.
But someone the person who moderation is for, or where it would work, is someone who maybe is not that far off.
Yeah.
That's just maybe a little concerned about their drinking.
Yeah.
Maybe at this point they have a drinking problem.
Right.
That they're drinking a bunch and they want to take a break, and that they can.
Right.
And it's not one of those things where it's like, oh God, because I think that's the distinction between the alcoholic and the person. Like, 'cause in the beginning, before, I had times where I just drank a bunch and then I was able to stop. And there are people, and this has to explain where there are people who can go, they can party it up with the best of them, but then they stop. And it's not that stop where it's like they're ignoring it. It's just they stop. They don't need it.
Yeah. Well, so do y'all know Tammy? What's her last name? Tammy Salon. She's the girl from my 1,000 or 600 pound life, or my 500 pound life.
I know. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know her name. I don't know her last name, but
Yeah. Tammy, right?
yeah.
And so I was watching, maybe I was reading some article at like 2:00 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. But she was saying that when she looks back, right, because she had all the, she lost a tremendous amount of weight, and then she had the excess skin surgery. And she was saying, like, looking back, that she couldn't believe how much denial she was in. And which to me is like, when we're looking at like people who have eating disorders, especially if someone is on the heavier side, right? There's a way that we kind of treat that differently than we do maybe other addictions.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so similarly, at work, there's, well, in the hospital, there's basically someone who's been given like X amount of time to live because of their alcohol use. And I was just thinking about that too, about how like a person can get to a point in their lives where, there's no turning back.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, what's the most striking is how a person, like, what are we calling denial? But it's almost, the way I think about it is like, there's this just like no aware. It's just, it's like being in the dark and not realizing you're in the dark. You know what I mean? There's just, I've just been thinking about it a lot especially since in Alcoholics Anonymous, like it's like someone can be constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves.
Exactly. Well, you know how they say it's like you can do what we do, or you can. Some people just go into the bitter end. It's like don't even like. I'm not doing it. I've just resigned myself to living that like this.
Yeah,
but doesn't this moderation management kind of negate that black or white? Right, saying that like it doesn't have to. You don't have to be all in or all out. Right, you're choosing your destiny and how you want the future to look.
But you're also honestly assessing the whole time.
Yeah, because it's like if you are one of those people where you can moderate or whatever, that's fine. But if you're one of those people where you're just looking for excuses to not do the work because you can't, So it's a tough one. And
what makes you say excuses? Because that sounds judgy.
Okay, because it is. I don't know any other way to say it, but it's like, you know, when folks complain about like the steps or any work or whatever, and it's like, or they say, oh no, it's not working, but they haven't worked it. You know, that contempt prior to investigation. You know, one of our friends who is really struggling, and he's struggling because he's got other challenges with medication that he's not addressing. And when he is doing medication, he's kind of just half-ass showing up. And it's unfortunate. I don't mean that half-ass. I
know what you mean.
I mean, it's just obvious that it's half-ass because he comes in, he sits in the back, he refuses to get a sponsor, or he'll ask close friends to sponsor him, which is kind of I'm not doing it. It's like, and you can do whatever you want, but I think what's interesting is like he's wanting, in some ways, the gift of the fellowship and the connection that we have.
Yeah.
Now some folks come in and they just want that part. They don't want to be alone or whatever. They want that, but it's like
that's real,
and they have a tough time seeing. Like for me, it's always I have to love you from across the street, like I say, and I'll meet you at a meeting or somewhere, but it's like I can't for my sanity, for my peace of mind. If you're making a decision, even if it's not your decision, if you're making a decision to not make an effort, then I have to let you do that. You know,
it almost sounds like there's a belief here that 12-step should work for everyone.
No. I think that like. I don't think I'm speaking of those times when you really put yourself into it, because I've known people where they really like dive in, and for whatever reason, because maybe they just have not been able to address areas that are too traumatic, too painful, whatever, and they continue. Like a perfect example, I had a former sponsee who I don't think they were able to acknowledge or admit that they were transgender. And so kept on this hamster wheel until they finally kind of got right with that and realized and started to make the change. And then they transitioned, and from that point forward, they were able to have like their life. But you know how sometimes it's there, it's so easy, but it's difficult to kind of cross that barrier. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I get that 100%. Right. And I guess I shy away from saying easy because like,
well, it's easy on the other side of it. Like it's easy. It's only easy when you,
it's
only easy when you figure out that it was easy. It's not easy before, until that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's just, I feel this. So I feel this, right? Because, one of our friends who was associated with the podcast passed away. Was it last year or the year before that? And it was around, like, my understanding is that he had stopped taking his medications, and essentially developed what I would argue is psychosis, and he met his end. I think what I feel gripped by is this idea that people are somehow, and I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but like that people are somehow to blame for things that maybe they can't even see, right? And I think because that's real, right? I've been in hospital rooms with people like I used to work in HIV/AIDS care, and there was a guy, a person that I was obviously I wasn't working directly with him. Why? What? Anyway, the point is that he refused to take antivirals, and he came up with every reason not to. Oh, they hurt his stomach. Oh, they didn't like just all of these things. And at some point, like, and that's just what it was. And then at some point he passed away.
Yeah.
Right. It's like all of it was preventable. All of it. And there's something going on there that like no one at this table can name. You know what I mean? I can't. And so moderation management may not be for those people.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. It makes me think, I mean, like, okay, so I work in hospice, right?
You do.
I love that. After all that we just said, it's like I'm all moderation management.
Start up. Bring it back. Sorry, I'm eating a French fry.
Right, like folks who choose to go into hospice is that they have chosen to no longer seek aggressive treatment. So they don't want to do the chemo. They don't want to do the medication. They don't want to keep fighting.
Do they? It's usually with kind of the like counsel from their doctors, whatever. Like do you find that there are people that say, I'm done?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, there's people who say, I'm done. I don't want to do these. I don't want to do chemo. I don't want to put anything extra in my body. Like, let me just go. Oh. You know? And so what I'm hearing from Anthony, right, is that like, there's a point where people stop fighting.
Yeah.
You know, because going in and out is exhausting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, the merry-go-round and having to explain myself again and having to justify why I'm coming back because there's a sense of proving myself.
Do you feel like you have to do that?
Of course,
but you don't, because it's like I'm just always happy to see you. I don't need you to explain anything. I just need you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. I feel the same as Louis,
Exactly.
but go on. No, I'm hearing you.
But it's like there's a right way to do the program, right? You have to want it. You have to be desperate enough. You have to.
The saying I love, this is not a program for people who want it or need it. It's a program for people who do the work. And doing the work all the time doesn't guarantee that everything's going to be all rosy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like.
But I just wonder if there's, and this is right why the talking series is around, is to just point out other ways to address sobriety that isn't just the 12-step have to do this 12 steps in a row in order
Mm-hmm.
right? But like that's, I think, and where the judgment that does come in from folks, right? Oh, well, he didn't want it bad enough, or he didn't do the work, so obviously he didn't want it.
Don't like that
at all,
lot.
or like so things like that. I think personally bother.
No, I feel that, and what I want to, yes, right, and. I don't know why I move over there to cough. It's not like the mic isn't picking it up.
Yeah.
Here's yes, right? Yes to both. And what I was thinking of is part of, I think, the harm that gets caused by 12-step, and maybe it's not 12-step exactly, but it's for some people who come in who like it's just not working.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But there's a couple things, right? Because it could be working because it's inadvertently serving as a harm reduction program, right? It's increasing the gap between use or drinking. There is a fellowship, so community can be very healing, right? All of those things. The problem is that if you're in 12-step, you're going to operate within a 12-step frame, right? Like you're going to be around people who've adopted a certain way of thinking about recovery, et cetera, and that's where the harm could be caused. So the other thing that's difficult is that it's the most widely available and it's free.
Yeah,
so not everyone has access to like psychiatric care,
yeah, exactly,
et cetera.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about, for example, there's someone who recently that we know who's been in and out for actually very many years, for over 10 years. Well, actually, we know quite a few people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think like they're still alive. This is great, right? Like what I wish they had was, or didn't have, is all the shame and the guilt that comes with it. And I think the shame and the guilt comes from the way certain conversations are had, right? Like Jordan, I feel like I'd be lying if I didn't say like, yeah, people do talk like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's really difficult because I like the way, like the stance that you've had, which is it's like really no one's fucking business, right?
Yeah.
Like the way you're working your program, et cetera. But people don't mind their fucking business.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's like, I think it's important to note that it's a perfect program. It's not a perfect fellowship. And
ooh, so what do you mean?
well, no. Okay, so if in theory, the way it's laid out, it's a beautiful program. It's a lot of people have benefited from it.
Mm-hmm.
I bring all of my vices and all of my darkness and all of my insecurities and everything to this. And so do you, and we all do. And so I also think that it's a matter of perception, because it's like we could be having a conversation and it could look different for all of us. Like what sounds like judgment is me maybe not being able to express it in a way that, not having the words to express it in a way that really is succinct and tells the story that I needed to tell. And unfortunately, someone who is insecure, who is going through whatever, who maybe has experienced relapse over and over, will latch on to that. And it's not the intention. And I feel like, for me, it's like, they say stick with the winners.
Mm-hmm.
I've modified that.
Which we don't like that either, right? That's to Jordan's point.
But I've modified that. Modified that. The winners are different for each person.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think a winner is?
Yeah.
A winner is somebody who falls flat on their face and gets back up.
But here's my
and
problem.
Shows me how to do that.
I feel that. My problem with the idea of winners is that in order for there to be winners, there have to be losers. Otherwise, there's no reason why we're saying winners.
Well,
so who are the losers?
Well, does there have to be a loser? Maybe I'm just using that language. Winners are people who do the work. People who I
get it. I feel you. I'm with you. I'm Team Lewis.
I'm using this because it's something that I can relate to. Yeah. I'm a winner. I'm a superstar. Superstars, whatever. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I don't have to think about the losers. I think, or I don't have to, what? And maybe it's important for me to know when I think of this, we lose out when we don't give ourselves a chance. Mm-hmm. If you're giving yourself a chance, that makes you a winner. Mm. Just the fact that you're like when they say just.
I'm with you because for me it's like if you're alive, you're doing great.
You still got.
I don't think dying means you're losing.
No, but I also think that at some point,
what?
Okay, so
what is it?
This participation trophy bullshit,
Oh, we're going there.
No.
Damn, she's coming for everyone.
No.
If you can't get sober and you can't win first place.
No.
Go ahead.
What I'm thinking is I'm all okay. So this, I want to be careful because it's like.
No, I mean you've already started. We don't edit our videos.
Explicit rating.
Tiptoeing around something because we're worried about how somebody's going to receive it. I'm telling you, the way that I get to work with my sponsor, and then when I have therapy, or whatever, if something rubs me the wrong way like that, that's exactly what I talk to my sponsor, my therapist, or you, or somebody about. It's great information.
Here's my thought around everything that we're talking about is that number one is that belonging is essential to being a human. Absolutely. Everyone wants to belong. Everyone needs a community, right? And I think that gets difficult when you kind of, if we're talking about, for example, queer folks, LGBT plus Q, the alphabets,
alphabet mafia,
the alphabet mafia, belonging for marginalized people is especially important, especially if they've been growing up and they've been denied anything that resembles kind of connection, right? And so you add into that addiction for whatever reason, and why they have that addiction, there are so many different reasons, right? And what treatment they're going to be responsive to, and by treatment I mean 12 step or any recovery program, we don't know, right? But I think what's really fucking sucks is that belonging, that feels like the hole in everyone's chest. Yeah. And sometimes that belonging for some people can feel conditional, right? If you have someone who's coming in and out, right? They're coming in with a broken heart and they just want to belong, but there are conditions for that belonging, right? That can cause a pain. It can contribute to a pain that existed before they came into the fellowship. And I guess I feel very sensitive about because I feel like I was one of those people, right? incredibly insecure. I was self-conscious. I was like bullied growing up. I had all of this stuff. And when I was drinking and using, I felt like I had community, right? I mean, it took me getting sober for me to realize like, oh, actually none of these people give a fuck about me, you know?
Yeah.
And then as a sober person, like I felt like I felt like in early recovery, I was like getting involved with people who also didn't give a fuck about me, right? Like we're not all like fucking healthy.
Yeah, no, not at all. No.
Right. And so I like what you were saying about like with 12 step, you know, it's a perfectly designed program, but people are not perfect.
Yeah.
Right. Cause I've been in spaces in the South, ironically, in the South where I was doing 12 step and it was like that spirit of AA, right?
Yeah.
Like no one was throwing anyone out, you know?
Exactly. And we don't do that a lot here, but I think...
But I do think there is a bit of marginalizing.
It does happen. But I like to... The best advice that I can give to my sponsees and others who actually are willing to listen is find your tribe.
100%.
Find the people that you vibe with. Because there's those people that are going to love you and give you that unconditional... And not everybody can do that. Not everybody's going to be able to
100%.
show up for you like that.
Yep.
But if you find those people that don't personalize your experience, because that was another thing that's one of my sponsors taught me. It's like, you know what? I want to be here when you come back. If you go out, I'd like you to stay, but I also don't want to personalize what you're going through, because that's another thing that we experience. I see myself in people who struggle, and there is no reason, there's no reason why it worked for me and it shouldn't have worked for someone else. You know, it's like, it is God's grace. It is absolutely God's grace. And in the beginning, it was scary. It's not the same now. But until I had to get to a point where I was not threatened by you being human, you know, by you going through what you had to go through.
100% that. Yeah. And I love what you're saying there about like finding your tribe. I honestly, Louis, I think that is the solution to almost everything.
Absolutely.
Grow toward where the sun is, like find those people that love you, that care about you. There is something so healing about being in a community that you can trust and you feel safe in. And it feels like a privilege. No, it 100% is a privilege, right? Because some people don't have access to community that easy. And that also feels like the double bind, right? When it comes to like recovery and recovery spaces and like what's working for people and not working for people.
Yeah, it's about relationship building, right? And if in my experience, if folks don't know how to maintain a relationship, right, then you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like dating, right? But without the sex, you know.
And sometimes with the sex,
it makes it more complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so I think it's hard, and it just reminds me to give other people grace and space.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're trying to navigate a relationship that is new to them, right? All the time, right? And even though we're in the same here in this fellowship, we're in the same circles almost 7 days a week, you're going to butt heads with people and you're going to not be happy with folks. But that doesn't mean that
you throw people away.
Yeah, if they fuck up.
And you said it, like, I really think that what helps me too is like, when I'm feeling shit, when I'm going through stuff or whatever, if I stop and I remind myself that maybe the folks that are around me are feeling the same thing. And just because I'm showing you something doesn't mean that that's what really is really there.
100%, Louis. Yeah. I could not agree with you more. I feel like that's where I've gotten recently. I think it's like, I mean, I think we're all on the same page around all of this. For me has been, I've started to be more aware of like, when I'm around people, do I actually feel comfortable? Like, do I actually feel safe? And when I over the last couple of weeks that I've been thinking about that, I'm like, oh, I fuck around with some people that I actually don't feel comfortable around.
Name them.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, exactly.
But I don't throw anyone away. But it's like good information for me.
I don't throw anyone away. I don't have to do big production about I'm done with you.
That's right. And the other thing is like I also we don't throw anyone away, but that also doesn't mean that like we get to let people walk all over us, right? It also doesn't mean that we get to use people as emotional punching bags, right? Like, and
that's where like I love the steps and the work, like finding that sponsor. Like I found this amazing sponsor, and I do the work or whatever, and really I'm trying to get to know me. And as I get to know me, that's when I get to start surrounding myself with people who like, not who I can shape or change and fit, but who already have those qualities that I think are important.
Yeah.
And then also I get to, I get to set boundaries. I get to set boundaries around, and
You
then
also get to cross them.
and then I get to cross them, and then I get to see, and then, like you said, I get to see.
You're lucky we don't have an HR.
I get to see like what the fuck, because like this person is not good for me.
That's right.
And it's not their responsibility to change. It's my responsibility to get away from them and love them, like I said, from across the street.
That's right. And let's wrap this up so I can eat the chicken sandwich I didn't order.
So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
We provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
Our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community, opportunity, and support. You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
And check out new episodes every Monday when they are released.
Thanks, Brandon.
Bye, we love you.
Bye.
See ya.